Hi everyone, welcome to our poetry evening as part of our celebration for the launch of the Status of Young Women in Scotland report last week. If you haven't had a chance to check that out yet, it's available on our website, on Issue, and probably plastered all over our social media. This is kind of the last evening event that we have as part of this. We were originally going to have an event at the Glasgow Women's Library, which this was going to be a part of, and obviously unable to do that. So we split up everything we were planning on doing into some smaller events, and this is the last of these. So this is a real treat tonight. It should only be around about half an hour. So I'll kind of got a wee set list, so I'll introduce the poets and they're going to do some performances for you. I realise it's a bit odd because we can't see you, so you can't clap or anything, but there is a chat box if you'd like to put your digital clapping in there. So I'm really excited to start off tonight by introducing Becky White, who's going to be our first performer. So take it away, Becky.
Hi, I'm Becky, and the first one I'm going to start with is called The War on Women. The 1 in 5, the 70%, the quarter, the 3/5, the 2/3. When we wake up and see the billboards, the adverts, the products, the blatant photoshopping, women chopped up like meat at a deli counter, laid out and displayed with neat little price tags, the ingrained sexist subtitles that are our daily narratives, the dress codes reducing us to mere distractions, the forced marriages, brides walking down aisles still clutching a teddy, the bills passed, her body a political playground, legislation plastered all over it, the locker room talk, the keys cutting into her hand because she will never feel safe roaming the streets, knowing that if anything were to happen to her, it would all be her fault. Your fault, my fault, our fault. Her decision not to get a taxi, her skirt length, her older looking face, her choice of underwear that night, her choice of top or dress or skirt or jeans or route home. When will we wake up and see the war on women? So there we go. That's the first piece. And now the second piece I'm going to share with you is called We Are the Girls Who Read Your Magazines. We are the girls who see your magazines. We are the girls who see your ideal, our societal obsession with the thin waist, leading young lives to go to waste, wanting us to be thin, our legs akin to pins. The clean, clear skin, so we pluck and poke and smear until there's no gunk left here. Each comment, look, second glance, raised eyebrow, clear throat, and downright invasive personal question. A plank in the gallows scales, a knot in the noose of centimeters and inches, a nail in the coffin of self-esteem. We are the girls who see your billboards trying to yell and shame us from every street corner, harassing and exploiting us above every red light. We are the girls who see through your body positivity bullshit. You're perfect just the way you are, love your body, we read, while flicking to page 7 for juice diets and juice cleanses. We are the girls who see your back-breaking poses, elbows angled angrily, toe-snapping tiptoe poses almost toppling over, faces fixed into frowns, painted pouts. We are the girls who want no diets, none of your diarrhea-inducing dieting teas for me, thank you and please. We are the girls who want not to be a slab of meat, prodded, injected and mass-produced, cramped into tiny glittery boxes. We are the girls who don't fit your ideals. Prized and precious porcelain skin, our putridly plain faces pose, petite, plump lips but never on your hips. Pain and poison part of our pampering. Poised, pretty in pink, products purposely designed for our pain, pricked, painted, pained and pained. And then you call us vain? We are the girls who read your magazines, and we just don't care. And the final piece I would like to share with you tonight is called Catcalled. We are the girls you look twice at going down the street, walking to our own beat. Our short skirt makes you alert, pervert. We are the girls who hear you as you blurt out, "Oi love, give us a smile," or "You've got such a lovely profile," or the classic wolf whistle, trying to get our attention. For what? Did nobody ever mention that you fill us with tension and apprehension? And that it should lead to your suspension, preferably into the third dimension. We don't want to be told that our arse is perfect, or for it to be pinched or poked or grabbed or groped, completely unprovoked. We are the girls who want to call it out, but experiencing it day in and day out without change casts doubt and tires us out. We are the girls who want you sued for being so rude and lewd, and shouting how you want to see us nude, and then we're a prude, but still you continue to pursue? We are the girls ready to snap, to shout back, to give you a smack. But we hold back and bite our tongue and let the anger simmer back down and don't turn around. And instead, we just frown. We are the girls who want to throttle you to the ground, to turn around to make a sound. But we must be ladylike and not just stick your head in a spike. And instead we walk by and lie and pretend we haven't heard, head down, wait until it's safe to have the meltdown. And I wish I could tell you this wasn't the case, that 60% of girls, regardless of race, hadn't had to face unwanted sexual harassment, that 2 out of 3 aren't carefree, and that crossing the road wasn't ingrained in girl code, and that faking being on the phone when you're alone wasn't the norm, and that things didn't get worse when it got warm or when girls wear their uniform. I wish I could, but I can't.
Thank you so much for that, Becky. That was amazing. Next up, we have Leona Lee, if you'd like to take it away.
Hi, I'm Iona, and this poem doesn't have a title. He opened with a kiss, his tongue a lovely little hors d'oeuvre, before leaving for the gym. I sucked down tears, suddenly overcome with ennui. Is this what it has come to? Exercising on purpose, climbing hills just to climb back down again. Sometimes I feel like a babe station girl, but no one is calling. Someone please tell me what they want me to do. Sometimes I feel like a video game character, but my player has left the room to make a cheese sandwich. Sometimes I wander aimlessly through Debenhams. I want to feel so alive. I want to own a small fusion restaurant. I want to play the tambourine in a Brian Jonestown Massacre tribute band. I would much rather dance on a pirate ship in the middle of a storm, the black and pearl drop rain bouncing like a giant's broken necklace on the deck, than answer the question, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Because honestly, I chiefly see myself 5 years ago. Like if only we could play still, how we did when we were kids. Hold your hand up to your ear. The sea is calling. I will be the mummy and you will be the daddy, and we can make a palace of this fallen tree. We just need 2 bits of imagination to rub together. Sometimes I think of all the flats that I have lived in. They constitute the shape of times gone by. We mistook the city for a moon and found ourselves enthusiastically blue tacking, making bohemian palaces of whatever squat we'd landed in, inviting over friends for food and mainly wine, chasing the silvery summer sun to the outmost corners of the meadows, skirts lapping at the girls' grubby feet. Everything smelt new. Sometimes I think that I would do it all again, but shinier, like the Renaissance redid the ancient world, or the 90s did the 60s again with ecstasy. The tragic thing is that I quite enjoy yoga, and I can't be fucked with techno anymore. That's that one. Thank you. This one is called The Night I Played Sims 2. Charles Bukowski's life was all airheaded whores who bored him, and 1960s hospitals, and red wine, and shagging. And you can tell because he always made sure to mention it. He wrote on typewriters before typewriters were for wankers. I think it might have been easier to get away with being artistic in the past, back before everything had to be enjoyed ironically. He has a poem called The Night I Fucked My Alarm Clock. And you could never get away with that kind of sincere posturing these days, but I do worry that I mentioned cigarettes a bit too much, and last night I just played The Sims 2 until I fell asleep. The past seems more romantic to me. There was more time to die of syphilis without Wi-Fi, more gazing out of windows. We shall never wander through gardens dripping with ripe metaphors, sighing. that we must make war with France. We are not art installations, but I am in the business of romanticizing. When I look at the dark and it doesn't look back, and I feel overwhelmed by insignificance, writing it nicely pokes holes in the sky so I can breathe. It is like performing to a sold-out empty stadium because whatever the poets tell you, none of this really matters. A 1960s hospital is just a hospital in the 1960s, and most love affairs dribble amiably to an end. In most of Bukowski's poems, nothing actually happens, apart from the vague implication of something profound. He liked to mention typewriters, like I like to take photographs of typewriters and put them online. We are all trying to prove that we do existing devastatingly well. Knock, knock. Excuse me. I am also here. I want an aesthetically pleasing, miserable life that people are jealous of. A life that is a good story to tell. Please stick me on the fridge where everyone can see me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Leona. Again, it's so bizarre that we can't see full reaction. That was great. Next up, we have Gray Crosby.
Hi, my name's Gray. I'm just going to do the one poem because it's a bit of a longer poem, and it's called Taboo. Amanda has binned the excuses. She's scrubbed off the words gross and disgusting because actually she quite likes it. She likes having sex on her period. Kira does it on her lighter days only, in the shower usually, where any traces of shame are rinsed away and swallowed by the drain. Meanwhile, Carrie loves how her nerve endings are extra sensitive on the days that she's heaviest. Susie too knows the benefits, chooses to fight those cramps with orgasms instead of paracetamol, and swaps out hot water bottles for the warm press of skin. And Audrey, she's been trying to conceive for years, so takes her chances, dares to hope on that slim risk of pregnancy her teachers warned her about. Scout and her girlfriend now quite like the aftermath, how their skin is finger painted and strokes and gasp grabs, their bedsheet a canvas dashed with different shapes of womanly. As for Benny, it's his least favourite time of the month because men's toilets don't have the right kind of bins for him and pads don't fit on boxers. Those 6 days he hates himself that bit harder. But in bed, Tom, his partner, separates knees. String in his teeth eases that cotton-free, unfazed enough for both of them, and loves him in all the same ways. Shay loves how she's the only one who knows that shade of red on her wife's lips, how it's shared in a kiss and smeared on the back of their fists. Meanwhile, Nina, she fucks Aisha as a fuck you because there's no taboo in her body. Not when it's her curves, her stubble leg, her hands, her blood, her hands and her hair, their bedsheet like a canvas where misogyny was murdered. June has long since given up feeling ashamed. Deborah wants a kind of love that leaves behind stains. Lou plays it safe, they use condoms and PrEP, and Jeanette she doesn't like period sex, so chooses not to do it. And that's fine too. But for the third of the population who are sexually active who do, why is it that when pulses have slowed, hair flattened, clothes straightened, why is it that the passion and fun and love and just general indifference towards periods and sex while on them is so often left behind under cooling duvets, tucked away between soap bottles and sponges, or lost down the side of the sofa? It's blood that flushed those cheeks, blood that makes our hearts beat. Why is there still all the stigma? Thanks.
Thank you, Gray. That was awesome. Thank you so much. Last but by no means least, we have Beata Singh.
Everyone's been so amazing. I'm going to read a poem that is a longer version of a poem that is in a documentary that's on BBC right now called Spit It Out, if anyone wants to watch it. We plug. So this is a longer version of the poem that's on there. It's called Snotty. I'm grotty and I'm snotty and I'm full of fucking cum, sitting naked on the toilet with it dripping down my bum. I had been flirtatious. I liked it when you grabbed my waist, and I had kissed you back. Your breath was sweet, that sugar taste. At 4 a.m. we drove around a noodle stand for our first date, and I was drunk as sin, but I trusted you to lead the way. I came into your house, and I let you touch my breast. And I came into your room, and with you I undressed. I told you I didn't want to fuck, and you had said that's fine, that we could just lay to bed together, your body next to mine. I thought it romantic, the passion and the ease, laying with this almond-eyed man, but then you ignored my pleas. At first I thought to let you. Oh, sorry, I've mussed up because I'm a bit... At first I thought to let you, as I've done for many men. Then it began to hurt and I couldn't do it all again. I asked you please to stop, and as I cried out in pain, my pleas were just not heard, not until you came. Silence fell heavy, and a girl knocked on the door. I recognised her voice. I think we'd been dancing before. Asha, are you okay? I could not speak from shock. I longed for her silently, but I faltered, still weak. A man told her to leave it, and her footsteps walked away. Cradling myself, I slowly wept and swayed. Then you put your arms around me. You told me that it's fine. You asked me to lay beside you. You put your hand in mine. I recoiled from your touch. I balked. I told you no. I'd said for you to stop, but you didn't see it so. You seemed upset and begged for me to lay back down. I couldn't and wouldn't. Please let me go. No understanding was found, and time blurs. I turn, and I say it again. Please, let me leave. Staring into those dark rooms, empty where eyes should be. Then you unlocked the door, and the daylight flooded in. We wandered out together. Stagnating heat hit my skin. You offer me a lift, and reluctantly I accept. My feet were weights, my eyes they ached. My heart urged me to reject. But Kismet overruled, and your bike died with my fears. Children passed by 2 by 2, oblivious with no cares. And I hitched a lift on an old man's bike. He had chickens hanging off the back. I collapsed into the new day, as he drove, and I didn't look back. And now I'm grotty, and I'm snotty, and I'm full of fucking cum, sitting naked on the toilet with it dripping down my bum. I'm just gonna let my cat in real quick. Sorry. I'm gonna do this poem because when we met, I performed it and I faltered completely on the stage. A lot of my poetry is so hard for me to say sometimes. But it's easy when there's a piece of paper in front of you. I'm frosty and I'm frozen, and I'm lying in my home again. You think that I'm cold, but you don't even know. My empathy stretched far, but my heart could let you go. My heart could let you go. Each flake may seem fragile, but together see the snow be so solid you could walk on it, like a pavement, and you do. 'Cause the beauty of each particle meant fucking nothing to you. My door was always open, and you just walked on through. But loving you was losing me, so now I've hid my key. And I kinda liked it when you hurt me, 'cause it meant you wouldn't leave. You'd stick around to apologise and try and make it up to me. Hit me to kiss me better. I hid my suicide letter in your heart, and it would tear me apart to watch you crumble. So I just kept bumbling on through, loving you, loathing me, forgetting all the things a bee could be. Hibernating in the crook of your neck. And now, this winter is so brisk without you next to me. But I feel free. I feel alone, but I feel free. There is no more anger inside of me, and the ice is thawing. So once the summer sunshine starts to creep in, I'll open up my door, allow it to warm my skin, my melanin will begin to rise again, and I will radiate, emanate satisfaction within my actions. Not a fraction of your heavy will be left standing on me. 'Cause I feel like I'm falling, like leaves in the autumn. My body is changing, and the shades, yeah, I got them. Like the tree, I stand tall, and I wait for them to grow again. My bark may seem tough, but my bite would let you know, my friend. My bite will let you know. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Asha. That was really moving. I hope you're okay.
Yeah, I'm fine.
And that wraps up our evening. So it feels a bit odd wrapping up an evening without people here, but there are comments coming in the chat box, so please do read them. And actually, if you want to raise their hand, we can bring them back in, we can bring them into the video if they want to speak to anyone. But that was amazing. Thank you all so much for being part of this. And yeah, thanks to everyone who came along as well.